Now for the track guide. Before starting, guys, if you want to improve at a quicker pace, I have created a sim racing course that covers in depth all the topics in order for you to get faster and faster on the track. Link will be in the video description. Now going into this track guide itself, turn 1, the car positioning is gonna be key under braking. So what we want to do is to go as quickly as we can to the right side. Look at number 4 here. This will be our reference for braking. Before number 4, we're gonna start applying the brakes. And what's important is to have the car almost in the middle of the white line. So position the car in such a way that you're using this right side lighter color tarmac to open up the corner. Then in third gear, this is gonna be the gear we're gonna use a lot on this track. We're gonna trail brake up until this red sausage curb. This part right here, it's a double apex approach. So this is our first apex. Then we want the car to track out to the center of the track while we continue to hold the brake. So never release the brake, but hold it in lower percentages. And then we'll turn more and more 90-degree steering angle and then push the throttle before getting to the red sausage curb. What we aim for here is to almost cut the red part, go completely over it, because the curb doesn't have a big height, so we can use it to use even more the available track, and then arrive on this curb on the right side on the exit. What you should be looking here for is having a confident throttle application. You shouldn't be modulating up and down with your throttle input. Instead, you want to go always up, as aggressive as you can. Now for the next corner, repositioning at the left curb, number 2 will be our reference for braking. At number 2, we're gonna brake and turn at the same time for this corner. You don't want to brake very hard, but you want to hold the brakes up until you get to the red sausage curb. So still holding the brake, still on the brake, still on the brake, still on the brake. At the red sausage curb, smashing the throttle aggressively. Notice that we are not braking very heavily, so using the braking more as a tool for rotation rather than to just shave the car speed off. Third gear once again, and you can get completely over the red sausage curb. It's gonna be fine. Next corner, more or less the same. After number 2 here, we're gonna brake and turn. This time we're gonna brake even softer than previously. So look, we're holding like 11% on the brakes, and the big difference, we're staying in 4th gear. Once you get to the red sausage curb, you're gonna smash the throttle, and the super important detail around here, make sure you're going on the red sausage curb. So cut as much as you can these curves, because even though the suspension will be just taking it, you won't lose time. Even if the car feels like it's floating for a little bit, it's still fine. Pushing the throttle, and you can even touch this gravel here with your left tires. Is not going to be an off track, so use the available space as much as you can. Now this corner, this is a long corner. Long corners, once again, we need to be good at trail braking. So reference for braking will be number 3. At number 3, we're gonna brake and use all this curve while braking. The reason why we're using this curve under braking is because, yes, this curve has a little bit of up and downs, which will make the braking not as efficient, but because we're not braking very hard, and because we're gonna go off the curb quite quickly, then we can use it. So use this curve for braking, then you will go into 3rd gear, and like I said, you have to trail brake a lot, because this is a long corner. You will be looking at the red sausage curb around here, so your vision will be planted here, and up until you get to this point, you should be braking. So still braking, still braking, still braking, still braking. After the red sausage curb, smashing the throttle. So you see, if you're gonna brake like an on-off switch, you will have a lot of understeer on the exit of this corner, and the sign that you will be understeering will be that you will drop the throttle or use a lot of steering wheel angle. That's not the key, however, so make sure you're turning the car with the brakes as much as you can. Now for the next corner, number 2 will be once again our reference for braking. You will brake and turn almost simultaneously, and once again, up until you get to the curb, you should be on the brakes. So still on the brakes, this time in 4th gear, still on the brakes, still on the brakes, getting at the red sausage curb, which is also compression zone. Right here, a lot of grip available. The moment that you feel the suspension compress, that's gonna be your clue to smash the throttle very aggressively like this. And now we're preparing for the corkscrew, one of the most difficult corners of the track. Reference for braking is this white line before number 3. So at this white line or slightly before it, you're going to be applying the brakes. Don't brake very hard initially, because you'll have to modulate more and more as you get to this center to downhill part. So make sure you're getting progressive on the brakes, don't brake very hard instantly. And then when you get closer, keep it in third gear. Make sure you're almost cutting this gravel on the left side of the curb. Cutting here as much as you can is going to be a big key of unlocking lap time. And then the moment that you feel that the curb is off the curb with your front left, then you're gonna smash the throttle and be quite quick left to right with the steering wheel, because you almost have to imagine that you're taking this part almost in a straight line. You don't want to go like a snake like this. Instead, you want to find the shortest spot in the corner, pushing the throttle aggressively. Make sure you're not getting all the way to the left side, because the next corner will be quite compromised if you do it. And now, reference for braking for this corner is a bit hard to find. What you can use is this tree on your left side, like this tree around here. When this tree disappears from your view, like right now, you don't see it anymore, even in this little space on the left side of the A pillar, then you're gonna be applying the brakes, or you can try to gauge the distance through this, kink in the white line, where the white line changes its direction. Gonna be braking in fourth gear. You're gonna just hold the brakes up until you get to this red sausage curb, even closer than this. A small mistake in this lap, you have to get even closer for a perfect lap to this curb. You're gonna cut it and then push the throttle aggressively. The reason why was a little mistake, it's this modulation right here in the top on our throttle input. So make sure you're getting a little bit closer with a slightly later apex. Now for the next corner, you have to brake quite early, because it will be quite uncomfortable to brake and turn at the same time. So make sure you're doing a part of the braking under straight line braking. Before number 2 is gonna be a good reference, or the beginning of the curb, or the moment that you just put the car in a straight line. All of these references will work. You're gonna brake in a straight line initially, and then you will turn at number 1 more and more into the corner in fourth gear. Before hitting this compression, or before hitting the red sausage curb, you should be back on throttle, because you're going downhill into this compression, so you have to take advantage of it. And now for the last corner of the track, reference for braking will be number 2. You're gonna brake and use this curb on entry in third gear, downshifting to second as you get closer. And now what's important is, in your mind, you will try to cut everything out of the red sausage curb. It's an off track if you go a bit deeper, but make sure you're taking progressively and you find the off track limit, because this leads to a big straight. So every tiny advantage that we can get away with will be amplified. So pushing the left tires on the red sausage curb, pushing the throttle aggressively, and if you end up to this part of the track, it means you carry the proper speed all the way to the green, left tires on the white line, but make sure you're not forcing the car on the left side immediately. Keep it straight a tiny bit so you don't scrub speed, and then you can put it towards the left like this. Because if you cross over on this lighter color tarmac, you won't get an off track. So you can stay there as much as you want, so make sure you're not instantly going left, you will scrub speed, and that's not efficient. But anyways, that's the track guide. Hope you like it, hope you enjoy it. If you want to improve at a quicker pace, check out my courses in the website, and looking forward to see you in the next one. Bye bye.